And welcome everyone to this conversation with Toth and the Council of Light on divine connection. So inviting you to tune into your inner awareness, your inner connection. Perhaps you would choose to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, or wiggle your toes, or whatever will support you in becoming even more present for the gift that you're giving yourself of being here, whether you're here live or you are bilocating, meaning you're tuning into the recording at a later time, yet participating energetically and in spirit now. So I'm Danielle Rama Hoffman, excited to be here, and I will just step aside and bring in the team. Hello, dear ones. It is I, Toth, with the Venus Council of Light, Beings of Light, Sanat Kamara, Melchizedek, the Rose Panel, Beings of Light, including Isis, Mary Magdalene, Anna, the Golden Stargate, the Council of Nine, the Council of Nine, the Council of Nine, Infinite Oneness, and many other beings of light that are moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. You each have your unique communion, connection, council of light, inviting you to connect eye to eye, peer to peer, divine to divine, light being to light being, on the altar of the heart. Energetically, there's a lot happening in these first few moments as we're gathering together in this potent group. So we are providing some space energetically and vibrationally for this wider communication that's happening, this divine connection that's happening. And to calibrate the energetic environment even more, we'd invite you, if you choose to engage your free will and conscious choice, to connect to the divine within. For this particular topic, we invited your beloved Danielle to choose the topic. And the topic that she has chosen is divine connection. That topic choice is one that we very much enjoy transmitting about. In some ways, it is at the heart of the matter that as you are in a state of connection, communion with the divine, you as divine being of light that you be, and also the divine in all that there is even greater oneness. There is even greater unity. And that in a sense, it is, as we're saying, the heart of the matter, the crux of it all, that you may experience yourself to be in divine connection, or you may experience yourself to be in disconnection. You may also, this was less true last year or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you may also have the sense of being in divine connection in some ways, and then also simultaneously being in a state of disconnection. And this is possible because there is even greater multidimensionality. You're aware of more and more and more and more of you. And so before we speak too much about divine connection, we would spend a few moments transmitting it vibrationally, energetically, through light language, and inviting you as well to be transmitting in the silence your knowing of divine connection, knowing that you are simultaneously receiving and transmitting during this conversation. Divine connection. Hama sankanoya siwanani asaya. Hayankana si ankano yankayang koyatia. Connection. Hana nia moya sana noya siang koyamana siang koyaniang kania sankatia. Hoyasina nania moya ankania kayania sankatia kayania sitiwa kayania. Hoyanania moyang koyania sitiwa nia moyang kayania koyasitiwa. Hoyaniang kasitiwa koyaniang koyasitiwa koyanang kia moyang kianania noyasitiwa koyania. Hoyasia nania moyang kianania moyang kashini wang koyamania koyania. Hoyania moya kashitiwa nania koyaniang katiang koyanania moyang kaya. Hoya koyaniang koyashitina nia moyang koyanang koyaniang koshitina nania makaya. Koyaniang. Have an awareness as we're transmitting about connection, if you choose, particularly in the area of your body that is the sacrum, and anywhere that you may have a sensation of disconnection to the sacrum, in particular the back of the second chakra, which is related to your self-permission to utilize your energy for you, to be connected to you as the divine. Hoya shankatina nania moyang kanania siwa koyania. Hoya mankania moyang koy sankatiwana nia moyang shoya. Yanania moyang kayaniang kashitiwa koyanang kaya moyang kaniang kaitiwa. Hoyaniang koyania shitiwana nia moyang kania koy shitiwania. Yananya noyamana noyamangani angaisina nania kayania koisitiwa koyania. Oyasitiwa naniang kashitiwa koishankatiwa koyania koishitiwa. Now having an awareness, if you choose, of bringing in the energy of disconnection into the oneness, into the wholeness. For as you've known disconnection, you also have everything within the disconnection to evolve it into its next evolution in consciousness to connection. Including into the oneness, into the wholeness, any aspects of you that are in a state of disconnection, if you choose, welcoming them into a greater state of connection. Not that they all become one and cease to have an individualized, uniformed energy, because all of you is unique. Your knee vibrates to a certain frequency that's different than your liver, that's different than your heart, that's different than your high heart, that's different than your higher self. So it's not that as you come into connection, that means that everything becomes a soup and stops having an individualized frequency or vibration. So as we're inviting you to invite the aspects of you that are currently in a state of disconnection into greater connection, there is the invitation to bring those aspects of you into greater connection, as their unique individualized energy, as a wider part of a whole. Hoya shankatina nanya kaya mananya shitiwa koya shitiwa nanya katiwa koya nanya moya kaya nia koya disconnection, connection, disconnection, connection, disconnection, connection, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Hoya manna sitiwa koya. You are welcome here. Hanania nanya, all of you is welcome here. Hanania shatiwa nanya nia nia moya kaya shitiwa. And we have hopped right into the transmission, as you are well aware of. You may have a sensation of the aspects of you that move into a greater state of disconnection as other aspects of you move into a greater state of connection. Oya soya nanya soya mana nyan kania siwa koya nanya nia siwa. Oya siwa koya nia shi tiwa nanya noya sanka tiwa soya koya shi tiwa koya. Disconnection, in a sense, was your original ticket to incarnate when you were born. Not all of you fully disconnected, yet you were always connected, even as you went into the forgetting of this connection. Have a sense of all that you may have learned or experienced from incarnating originally when you were born during a time of separation or disconnection, during a time of the tribe or consciousness, the sense of giving away your power or your knowing outside of you, or experiencing yourself as a human rather than the divine being that you be. Onani angana siwa koya sitiwa koya. You are here because you know that you are the divine, the extraordinary source consciousness, that your incarnation is the expression of that. Oyama sankani asoya. Hoyasi wa koyanan kati wa koyashi. Now this is Toph that's moving more into the forefront of this divine transmission. Okay, so as we have begun this conversation, there has been a clearing of the decks, a co-creation of an even more resonant frequency, one of inclusion and love, for us to be communicating from within. This transmission is an environment that, if you choose, and it is your free choice or not, encourages you to move into greater states of oneness with your divine self, with your divine self, with your divine self. Taking a few breaths to really go within your divine energy, that signature energy, that spark of you that is expanding each now moment to really, for this now moment, invite yourself to go within the divine energy of you. Some of you are asking how. We'll get to that in a moment. Yet, this point is the choice to choose to go within the divine energy of you. Now, we are not saying that some aspects of you are divine and others aren't, for all of you is divine. Yet, by the suggestion of going into the divine energy of you, we mean that current of oneness that you have a palpable experience of being in union with. You may call that your higher self. You may call that your I am presence. You may call that you. It can be like going into your inner awareness of yourself as a light being, as an expression of source. So we have a light code to support with the how. This light code is particularly for those of you who have an echo that says you're not the divine, whether that's come from past lives or religion or your parents or wherever it's come from. So this light code is to include the illusion that you're not divine back into wholeness if you choose, and particularly as it's been something that's been taught to you. Original sin, light code, to reabsorb the belief that you're not divine if you choose. Manania noia gaya nanania noia gaya ni angaya noia angaya ni angaya nai angai 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 oi angani anganani angai 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 angai. This light code is to support, this next light code is to support greater oneness with you. This next light code is to reabsorb any catch-22s or illusions or double binds that you have around living in a state of divine connection. So this can look like a protective mechanism that you have, or it wasn't safe the last time you were in your divine connection, or if you're in your divine connection, then X, Y, and Z is going to happen, or being allergic to your divine self. Ianana sianga nanui namang kanusi ananui nani angananangani angayangia. Aya saya taya kaya ti anani anasi angaya. It's also moving into reabsorbing, if you choose any responsibility for others, that actually is their responsibility. Ayangana soya soyangana niyangana soyangana siya kaya sanganti ananiya sayang. Oya sana niyangana niyangaya siya koyangana nayangania sangha. Iya sangha naya sangha niya saya kaya siwa. Oya siwa kana niya sangha tiya nana siwa koya nana siwa kaya naniya kaya. Oya siwa ngaya nana niya ngaya kaya. The energy now that the group is asking for is to reframe any sense of loneliness that you may have that actually is a part of your path of knowing your divine uniqueness. Now we know the words of that are a bit chunky because it is not that we're suggesting that you need to be lonely in order to know your divine uniqueness. Yet there is a process of unplugging from the tribal consciousness, from fitting into a tribe, to then getting to know yourself, your unique self, your divine self. That does, in a sense, require this tapping into your divine uniqueness. And that as you connect with you, that loneliness also shifts. Sometimes the loneliness can come when you separate from you, your divine connection, or in order to be with others. So we're transmitting that in the silence. With that, there is a reunion possible with your divine self. So have a sense of sitting at this Council of Light table, a table for two, which is really a table for one, with your divine self, and to open up communication pathways with your divine self as the divine being that you be. Unanoisia manangkaniankai manananiasaya Oyankana soya. Yasaya. Oyanana siwa. Oya siwa nania kaya. Oya shoya niyansa. Oya niyan kana niya soya. Oya ni sankania nayanka. Oya shiwa nania nania koya. Oya kana saya nania koya. Oya sankania kaya niya siwa. Oya ni sawankaya. Oya sankania siwa koya. Oya nima hama kai o ma na nuyankania. Ia nuisanania. Oya sankania nania soya. Oya siwa nania soya ankanuya mania muya mia nuya manania. Homanka moamania miakuya. Oya nia manania nuya. Ai tai mun pang kon nia ma hanis angka ianka. Ai ni noi ang an noi na nui ang kan nui ang kang. I kang ko ni an na ni an noi ang kan ni ang ka. Ang kan ni ang ko ni ang ka. Nai yang ki na an na ka. I an I an na nui an na nui an ia ang kong kiang kang kong kiang kang kia. And dan tu na lu ang ma ang gan nan nu gang ang nyanga. Ama nan nia noya siwa kaya sengatiwa kaya diwa nania nia doya kaya. We are increasing the units of consciousness of communion, of connection from our side of the 50-yard line. And we invite you, if you choose, to also increase the units of consciousness of connection and communion on your side of the 50-yard line as we meet divine to divine. That you have keys and codes and energy awarenesses that enhance connection and communion. And this one in particular is to be able to access the divine that resides within and all around. Anna soya nanya kaya muyanka shitiwana niyo soya miyanga noya mana niyang yang 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 yang. And this last light code for now, this cycle of light codes that we brought forward, this next light code for now is to amplify your receptor sites and your transmission sites to be in divine connection. So just as you have a connection like a phone connection, or this Zoom room is a good example, that you can connect with one individual on a phone, that's one connection, or you can connect with 100 pathways of connection. And we mean to yourself, We have been mostly focusing vibration on vibrational enhancing of your connection to yourself. So this one is to amplify your receptor sites or pathways of connection to your divine self. Nanna sankati wasaya niyang kayang koya tiyang kana niyang koya niya sankaniya kaya tiyang kaya niya sakati. To summarize, we have brought forward light codes to enhance your permission to be radiating as the divine being in connection that you be. There has been the invitation to complete certain outdated ways of being and the frequencies to support that. And there has been the opening up to more ways of connecting to your divine self, among other energies as well. So we are pausing here, vibrationally tuning in as well, inviting an even greater connection, divine to divine, as we co-create this moment together. As we have spoken about, April is a one-of-a-kind month that, rather than offering a second energy trend for the month of April in 2018 in a recorded format, we have chosen to have this installment of the April energy trends, as it's coming towards the place of completion this month, together in this live, so to speak, room. That is to facilitate your unique, one-of-a-kind energy that you have been deepening into in this month. And that is your divine connection. As you are moving through the world and the multiverse, connected to yourself as a divine creator being, a lot of what may seem troubling, it evolves. You come from a wider stance. the one-of-a-kind energy stream that you have been tapping into in April is greater and greater and greater and greater and greater states of communion with your divine energy. Your divine energy is very particular as well to you, as is spoken about in the Tablets of Light, that you have a universal divine design and a unique divine design, that this month of April is about enhancing and has been about enhancing your unique divine energy. We mean this on a frequency level, that a banana has a frequency and bananas have a frequency. One banana is not the same as all bananas on the frequency level, even though there are similar frequencies as they're all bananas, which is different than between an elephant and a rose. All roses have a certain frequency that is similar, the universal divine design, to other roses. And each individual rose has a unique divine design. At times you find yourself more or less honing your uniqueness, or honing or turning on your, what we're calling the universal divine connection. And they fuel one another. Some examples of your universal divine connection are your intuition, your capacity to create through your choice or your intention. This conversation is an invitation to be that unique divine you even more fully. This is also an opportunity to pick up packages of light and energy and consciousness that you've left for yourself to find, as the emerald tablets, the tablets of light, the Akashic records are opening even more fully. Ishatan kaniyan katiwan kaitian kaishi. Isitiwa kai ankoyania sankatiwa sankatia koyania. Oyasiwa koyania katiwa. Oyasankatiwa nania koyashitiwa kaya. Ishitiwa nania soya koyasitiwa koya. Oyashitiwa koyania katiwa saya kayania katiwa. Oyasankatiwa nania soya koyasitiwa koya. Oyasiwa koyania katiwa saya. Oyasitiwa nania saya katiwa saya kia. Oyankatiwa sankatiwa koyania sankatiwa koyasakatiwa. Oishi tananyang hashitiwa koyasiwa koyasankatiwa. Oishi tananya sankatiwa koyasitiwa kayankatiwa saya. Oyasankatiwa koyashitiwa. So we would spend some minutes in the silence together, inviting you to deepen into your divine connection, your one-of-a-kind energy, your unique signature. Then we would practice as well being in divine connection with yourself in the group environment. So you're connecting to your divine self. You're aware of the other divine beings in form and in light, their signature energies, yet you don't leave you in order to connect to another. That actually, the more deeply connected you are to you, the divine you, the more individualized oneness you experience. Good. So that's a little bit like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. That as we introduced bringing your awareness to the group, for some of you, it was easy to drop your connection to your divine self, to become aware of them, the others, and bring it back to you. And as you're doing that, we would open up to interacting, inviting you to tune into what you would choose to co-create in the rest of this time together. If there's a topic that you would explore or a question that you have, we invite you to either type it into the chat or vibrationally emit it. Yeah. And so, Oyananya Sankati wa Koyanian Kashiti wa Koyashiti wa Nanya Koyashiti wa. Who has a question or an awareness or an appreciation about divine connection? And if you're on mute and you want to unmute yourself, you would press *6. If you're on the phone or if you're on the video, you would click your picture and then you'd see the microphone to unmute. Yeah, so if your number is a 206 number, you're on the call.
Is it me?
Yes.
This is Mary.
Hi, Mary. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I was just in the Grand Canyon for 5 days, alone, backpacking, and I felt just such a strong divine connection down there. And I was just feeling, for me, the divine connection comes through nature in really powerful ways. And when I step out, I don't know, my soul is like longing to be in that state and just to be in nature all the time. I'm wondering if there's further discussion too around that concept of coming out and going back in and coming out and going back in, and how to maintain that state of being in all environments.
Yes, thank you. Good. So, as Mary has brought forward this sweet spot for her of being in nature as one of the ways of divine connection, we'd invite you each to tune into your sweet spot, so to speak, of when you have the sense of greater divine connection, and that sweet spot of your divine connection may also be nature, and it really depends on who it is that you are. For you may really thrive in an urban environment, and you may really thrive in this nature environment. So what we would say for you, Mary, is that one of the aspects of nature could be animals, it could be certain individuals, is that there's a naturalness to how it is that you're receiving and transmitting. You can go into nature and you can really go into all situations as yourself, regardless of what state of being you're in. And particularly in nature, there is the absolute naturalness of receiving, having, and transmitting. So another way to say that is that when you're in nature, there's a vibration of what you would call safety or security, that you are embraced fully, that you are in a state of love and receiving fully. Now, this capacity to give and receive and have in an absolute natural way also exists in other environments. And when you go into other environments, what can happen is that you can unconsciously stop receiving or transmitting or having out of that sense of you don't want to receive this, or you don't want to transmit that, or you don't want to have that separation. So in terms of how to be connected in any environment, there isn't one way. And we know we speak about this. It's about your way. And it reminds Danielle very much of how she went to horseback riding camp as a child. And she started going for 3 weeks and 5 weeks and 8 weeks, and then it just got longer and longer. And for her, it was her sweet spot, that she really had that sense of connection to herself at that camp. Then later it was going to Egypt. And she had that same question, Mary, that you're having, of how can you experience what you experience when you're in the Grand Canyon more of the time? Or how could she experience what she experienced at camp or in Egypt more of the time? Everything exists in each and every moment. Now, there is what you would call some heightening your awareness of the environment. Like, what are those components that are your sweet spot? So, for example, for Danielle, she recognized that having some structure, like a camp, this hour was for jumping, this hour was for arts and crafts, this hour was for having some structure in her day and also some openness, really was a conducive environment. And you may recognize some of the aspects of it. Nature is one thing you've identified. Being with yourself is another. That it may also be as you're with yourself, anywhere that you may naturally in the past disconnected from yourself in order to be with others, or have that sensation that others may have a greater sense of what's best for you than you would know for yourself. It's reminding Danielle as well of her first job at a battered women's shelter, and that she had this position of working 4 to midnight, and she was the only one there, the only counselor there. When she was there as the only counselor, she was empowered. She made decisions. She led. When she worked during the day and there were 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 other counselors, there was this old pattern that she had to defer to the others, that they would know better than she might know, to give away that sense of empowerment. And so for you, Mary, and for others, you may begin to identify, well, when you're in that external environment that seems to enhance the internal environment of divine connection, what are some of the common denominators? And then you can reproduce those in ways. Now, as you know, we speak very much about the inner domain and having sovereignty on your inner domain, that you're in a state of equanimity regardless of what's going on outside of you. Hoyashanka tiwa nanya kaya niya kaya. Hoyasi tiwa nanya. All that there is exists within each and every moment. And tapping into all that there is. Hoyashi tiwa kaya niya, hoyashi tiwa kaya si tiwa koya. Good. And so there is a lot that's coming in from the chat. So we're just taking a moment, recognizing that as we go into each individual thread, whether you verbalize something or not, you have placed on the altar your desire to be in greater divine connection. And part of what we're practicing is what Mary brought forward as well, how to stay in divine connection with yourself, as well as we're tuning into the group energy. Hanashi tiwa koishi tiwa koishi. So this is from the chat. You speak of opening up new ways for us to connect to the divine. Can you elaborate for one who enjoys practical steps? Yes. So we would tune into what we would say. New ways of connecting to the divine, new ways of connecting to the divine, new ways of connecting to the divine. New ways of connecting to the divine, new ways of connecting to the divine, simultaneously ancient and innovative, new ways of connecting to the divine, new ways of connecting to the divine, new ways of connecting to the divine. Step one, and we're playing with this because there aren't any steps. Everything is practical to us. And we get this question, and we're playing a little bit with you, Joanne, around this. We get this question of like, what are practical steps? And we know what you mean by that. Yet for us, energy and consciousness is one of the most practical steps there is. For your energy and consciousness shifts everything. Being in divine connection is a practical step. As you're in divine connection, that supports your health, that supports your peace of mind, that supports your creativity. So practical step is being in divine connection, is raising your vibration. It's like the recognition, what is spoken about in the Council of Light book around actualizing the deepest desires of your soul, or manifesting the deepest desires of your soul. That enhancing your joy enhances your health, wealth, and happiness. And so enhancing your joy may not be on your to-do list, yet that is a practical step on your to-do list. So we're playing a bit with what's practical, what's not practical, and inviting you to open your mind and your awareness to actually some of the most efficient ways of moving forward in having tangible results in your daily life are through from energy and consciousness and tapping into those frequencies that also on a multidimensional level you may be aware of, and on a conscious level you're not so aware of. So the mind has been a mechanism of disconnection in the old paradigm. The overactive mind, the hypervigilant mind, giving the mind out of 100 units of consciousness, giving the mind 89 units of consciousness. Your mind is beautiful. Your conscious mind is beautiful. Your logical mind is beautiful. We include it, yet you are not only experiencing yourself through the mind. Yes, so what we would say is really being the current version of you and inviting yourself to be the current version of you is one of the practical steps to being in divine connection. For you have now some track record of living in unity consciousness. that if we look at unity consciousness and separation consciousness from the perspective of the Piscean age and moving out of the Piscean age, or the third chakra, power over, power under, into the heart chakra, the Aquarian age, unity consciousness, that there's everything that you learned from separation consciousness. You've already garnered it all, that you had some years in this body or in your old body, because your body also changes in separation consciousness. Yet that's not the current version of you. That's not the current version of you. Now you have a track record of having some moments in unity consciousness, building up some years in unity consciousness. It's like, as Danielle was speaking to her beloved Freedom the other day, and we're speaking about how long they've lived together. They've lived together now for 19 years. And Friedemann said, well, we've lived together longer than you lived together with your parents. For Danielle lived with her parents for 17 years, except for the time when she was at camp in the summers. So the time that she actually lived with her family of origin is less than the time that she's lived with her beloved. And yet, how often in the tribal consciousness is there the focus on who it is that you are right now, being very much based on patterns that you learned from your family, from your mother, from your father. Yet you've had more years of experience not living at home. Or you've had now more years of experience, and we're winding our way back to this question of the new ways of divine connection. You've had more experience of divine connection than you have of divine disconnection. And the current version of you, or what you would also call the future version of you, has that stored within. So being the current version of you really amplifies and enhances the divine connection that you have. So one practical step is acknowledging that you already know how to be in divine connection. And that can look like this. If I knew how to be in divine connection, what is it that I know? Based on my current divine version of myself, what is it that I am tapping into that hasn't even existed on the Earth star up until this now moment? That's also part of the joy of us coming together, beings of light with beings of light. For you have memory from off-planet lifetimes, or what you would call from other galaxies, that are becoming more, and that's what we mean by the new ways of divine connecting, that are becoming even more current. So back to Mary's question, some of these lifetimes were in environments where there was only cohesive energy, like you can experience in nature. Nature is in a cohesive energy. Lemuria is in a cohesive energy. The path of the Venus light star galaxy is in a cohesive energy. So this cohesive energy, this harmonic resonance, you have experience with that. And that experience, as it blossoms within you, it informs your current environment, so that then your current environment becomes a cohesive environment. This is from Julie. How to step into the aloneness and not trigger a close person's fear of being left or abandoned. Good. So this question really brings up the divine to divine, the energy of equality, the coming together, recognizing that there's nobody better or worse than you. And with that, there's a real honoring of whatever anyone is experiencing, that is also their choice to experience that. And so this honoring of that choice is recognizing that you are in the conscious awareness of the inner awakening. That inner awakening is also unfolding in greater and greater ways. So as you're in greater and greater states of divine connection to yourself, you also, how to say, it's not that you stop noticing when somebody around you goes into fear or they want you to change back, yet you're no longer willing to leave your divine connection in order to seem like you're connected to them. So this gets a little tricky in the language, and we're using separation consciousness because it's not either or, that you're either connected to yourself or you're leaving yourself to be with someone that has a fear reaction, fear of being abandoned. It's an and. The more connection you are in, the more you're vibrating, resonating that out, the more others have that awareness of their own inner connection. And there's also a difference between your choosing to be in divine connection and to spend time with yourself. Then there's a sense of like stomping off and doing it. So we would say for you in particular, Julie, and this also applies for each of you in different ways, it's really about having your choice be one that is also loving to you. And as it's loving to you, it's also loving to all those around you. So play with the and, A-N-D. And whether somebody is afraid or has a fear of abandonment is not something that you can control. So there is also in the chat the request to help with releasing self-consciousness, not enoughness, lie, perfectionism around looks, body, sexuality. And how can I most easily embody great health, optimal wellness, finally? So just placing them more on the altar, releasing the fear of shining our light so brightly when we embody our divinity. Insights as to what the best understanding about gifts, raise vibration, and lack into true abundance. Good. So as we're moving towards a place of completion in the next 5 minutes or so, Hoishiti wa koishi, we invite you to reconnect to your divine knowing, your divine connection, if you've left it. And invite you, we'd bring forward a few light codes for what's been brought forward. This one is around the body, sexuality, not enoughness, self-consciousness. Onganata iangasa toya sankananiya kasiti kaya. Yasankati ankaya kaya moya kaya. This one is for embodying greater health. Inkan kuenan ninkan kuyan kantan kuenan niangkan kosiang kan kia kia. Abundance. Onnani uteka tuet ni kantanti kasia self-love. Imangashi oishankani angashitiya. Oishankatiya shoyatiya kaya. Oyanishakatiwa. Oyakashitiwa naniasitiwa koya. As we're coming towards a place of completion, we'd invite you to acknowledge your contribution to this co-created conversation and to discover, uncover your treasure hunt highlight, and that you may choose to pop that in the chat box of what it is that is your gem from this time of being together, what it is that you are taking away from this time together, what it is that you're highlighting from this time together. Anashitiwa kaya kaya shitiwa. And our gem that we would highlight is that this has really been multidimensional and also very much about the one-of-a-kind divine connection, the one-of-a-kind divine signature energy that you have, and amplifying that even more. And we are delighted to be interacting with you in this way. All is light, and we are